right, we're live. Let's see if anyone shows up. Let me know if you're here. Hello, Travis. I see you in the comments. Ah, yes. Good old Blaze. Hello. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm assuming I'm live because it says I'm live. Oh, dog's being a dog. Will he continue to be a dog? We'll find out. Sometimes he likes to be a dog. All right. Just gonna post on Discord. Cool. Glad you can hear me. Glad everything seems to be working. Oh no, you can see me? Oh no. Now I have to deal with that. Oof, Listen, I don't get to control the pre-roll ads, unfortunately. Well, I mean, I guess I kind of do. Hello, Jeff. Thank you for saying I am so live. Ah, yes. Is that a ferret? Moz in your? Is that supposed to be a ferret? Is it a opossum? I'm gonna assume it's a ferret of some kind. All right, it is now up in the Discord. Hello, Star Hat Sage. Hello. Gonna be going live. Well, we are live. If you didn't know, we're live right now. There's a dog right behind me. He's right there. Pippin. You gotta say hi, buddy. Everyone loves you. Oh, there he is. Hey, buddy. Hi. That's him. All right, now that we got the dog engagement. Oh, and he's under me now. That's gonna be fun. All right, let me know how I'm sounding. I did fix the audio from last time. Hello, Sword and Stones. Hello. What's the news? There's gonna be a lot to cover. So the basic idea of the stream is it's hard to find places that talk about RPG news well, or has just one spot you can go to for a good chunk of news. So every other week, right now, if we can get to a point where I can do this more frequently, we'll do it every week. But the idea will be that I will talk about some interesting news for any of y'all who are interested in the news. There will be things we have to talk about, such as D&D, like today, because they finally released their calendar for the year. In the third month of the year, they finally told us what we're getting. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to look at some Kickstarter, some backer kit, a lot of backer kit stuff. If there's anything in particular you're interested in, if there's any news articles that you thought came out that were interesting, we can talk about them. And we'll go in from there. So yeah, we'll go over some convention stuff, and then primarily be looking at a lot of just crowdfunding sources. Because oh my gosh, there are so many games that come out all the dang time. And sometimes cool little games get lost. What are you looking for, buddy? You want your bone? Is that what you want? All right, let's see if he... You just want to stay in there? Okay, that's fine. I ain't gonna stop you. All right. What about to play a session, but I'm looking forward to the VOD. Oh, all right. Well, hey, either way, have fun. You get to play an RPG. That doesn't get to happen to all of us too often, so have fun. If you check out that, he also does the RPG news, so it's cool to find another channel doing this. I will have to check that out. In fact, I'm going to put that in my to watch, just because I think I don't want to cover too much of the same stuff, but at the same time, more coverage is good coverage, right? Yeah, ultimately this came from, as we're waiting for a few more people to get in here, ultimately this came from me just wanting to have a place to talk about it, because there are so many RPGs that came out. Did you know the newest Blades in the Dark game came out? It's on BackerKit right now. Did you know that? I didn't know that until I got an ad for it. I got an ad for Cypher 2 during its last run, its last few days. So that was a little upsetting there. Hello, what's up, everybody? All coverage is good coverage. Amen. But yeah, to me, I I feel like you don't really get to see, like, there's just so much to cover. So talking about it in any capacity is good. Um, Blade 68, that is correct, Travis. Fun fact, there might be even more than that. No spoilers here. They did announce something if you've backed the game that if they get to a certain funding goal, they might do more. We shall see. All right. There are a ton of crowdfunds going on all the time. Yes, that's the problem. Like, there's some interesting ones. There's one that I want to look at. See if I can find it. It's like Tales from the Tape Deck or something like that. I just looked at it. I didn't even get a chance to look at it. I was just very interested. And so it's on the docket. We're talking about it. Talking about some interesting games for sure. Some that have already funded. Some that have already backed. And yeah, give everybody a few more minutes to come in and then we'll talk. Your ads have been blowing up with pumpkin spice. Well, don't drink too much coffee. I don't drink any coffee. I don't get any of those ads. And then Sir James Neutral Base. Yeah, the New Blades in the Dark, Coyote, and Crow is close to finishing their backer kit. There's also Numenera. Yep, Numenera. Little upset about Numenera. We'll talk about that when we get to it. All right. Cool. All right, it's been roughly a few minutes. Let's go to the view. Do I have to adjust anything? A little bit. Give me a second to adjust some things. Make sure everyone can see everything. Boom. All right, so unfortunately, guys, this isn't like eating your vegetables because it's still a game, but much like eating your vegetables, it's something we have to do even if we don't want to. So let's talk about D&D. Pumpkin spice is... Oh, yes, the pumpkin spice TTRPG. Of course, I'm dumb. Thank you for that. All right, so let's talk about D&D's calendar release because it did happen. They finally released it super late into development, and so we're here. Oh, by the way, let's go back to Facecam. And if you see in the bottom corner, right there, you'll notice there is a goal. If you want me to go for 2 hours, if we can get to a funding goal of $25, awesome. If not, that's fine. No harm, no foul. But if we could do that, I'll go for another hour, and then we'll talk about more news and stuff like that. All right, back to what I was saying. My sarcasm radar is on the fritz this morning. No idea if you were picking up the Pumpkin Spice RPG. Listen, no one can tell when I'm being sarcastic or not, so don't feel bad about that. All right. So anyway, we have the roadmap for Dungeons and Dragons. Notably, you have D&D Beyond, key events, partner content. Obviously, there's always more to come. Here is the big stuff right here. The Ravenloft. Oh, there we go. Oh, wow, that's fun. I can't even zoom in on that. So we got Ravenloft, Tomb of Horrors. Oh, sorry. The Horrors Within. Got to be very specific about that. We got... Let me just reset this because it's not going to scale, which sucks. Arcana Unleashed and a To Be Announced. I'm not sure what that's about. We'll find out. All right, so Ravenloft. This looks... I don't know anyone else who plays Magic the Gathering. This looks like a Magic the Gathering, like, booster card, like booster packaging, which I'm not a fan of. That it just looks like one of their other IPs. But anyway, we're going back to Ravenloft. Now, the question becomes, is this going to be a setting that continues the story of Strahd, or is it going to be more like Van Richten's Guide, where it's more just like horror-esque stuff? We don't know, because they don't give us a lot of information. This book returns to some of D&D's most iconic and chilling nightmares, the Domains of Dread, so they'll probably give us some sort of stats for that. Can't wait for you to get your hands on it and unleash dark legends at your table. So, pre-order begins in a month. Master tier, hero tier, wide release. Golly. Wait. Okay. So you're telling me there's nothing wrong with, hey, if you pay a little bit more money, or if you're a higher member in D&D Beyond, you get it earlier. Now you're telling me that you have to pay more money to get it even earlier, and then a week later, if you are paying some amount of money or are just on D&D Beyond, but I don't know how much the hero tier is, You're telling me that people are getting it 2 weeks in advance to pay a lot of money, and then only 1 week. That sucks, man. That sucks. All right. Same thing here. It looks like we're getting some sort of additional book, an adventure expansion, right? Oh, okay. So it says it here. So, Ravenloft: The Horrors Within is a gameplay expansion. Arcana Unleashed is a gameplay expansion. So these are probably just more character options, some stats, stuff like that. And then Arcana Unleashed is an adventure. So we're getting, at the most right now, according to their own roadmap, 1 adventure, maybe 2 during the Seasons of Champions, whatever that means. Not entirely sure. So we'll see how that's all going. Hey Ash, glad to see you're here. Thanks for everybody who's joining during their lunch. I had lunch before this because I had to. I don't think any of you want to hear me eating. Ew, are you saying a greedy company is greedy? No way. Yeah, it kind of sucks. How do you feel about D&D be called 5e? I don't care. I'm just upset because we recorded a video, called it 2024, and made a joke about how it wasn't called 5.5. And then within the span of us recording and releasing that video, they changed the name. And it was immediately dated. So whatever. Sounds like a video game. Pay extra for early access version. A little bit. So yeah, notably, Seasons of the Arcana Unleashed, Season of Magic, they didn't give us a time frame on that, which is interesting. And then D&D Beyond, a faster way to play, which brings us more partner content, stuff like that. Which brings us to the story that is not a story. I couldn't find an article about this, so we'll just go to the face cam. Apparently, and granted, take this all with a grain of salt because I never trust anything CEOs say to their stockholders. But during a Hasbro meeting, Chris Cox, CEO of Hasbro, said they're going to go really hard into the digital release. And honestly, by the sheer fact that we have this, right, kind of proves to me that's the case. They're going to be really focusing in on just that. Just the idea that everything's going to be digital. And it's not a surprise to me. It's a little surprising because they tanked Sigil. Like, if Sigil was more of a thing, I could see that being a thing they're going to do. But no. Instead, it seems like they're just going to put all their eggs into the basket of D&D Beyond, which is interesting. Don't know how I feel about that. 5.5 is dumb. 5.5 supplement would be okay as it's not really a new edition. Yeah, I mean, wasn't around during the 3 to 3.5 debacle or debate, so I have no idea if this is just like a gust in the wind, whatever the term is. I can't think right now. I'm too busy thinking. Yeah, it might be just a flash in the pan. We'll see. Can't wait until my game is far enough along to get mentioned on your channel. Yeah, for sure. I will happily. You know what? We should probably make a section in the Discord, or I'll probably make a post in the future being like, what things do you want me to cover? And we'll cover it. All right, on to the next news. Gen Con. I'm going to Gen Con this year. Charles might not be, which is a little unfortunate. It has to do with good things. Nothing bad. More that he needs that money for other stuff. And it's completely understandable what that other stuff is. Family stuff, all that part. The D&D rebrand to me is a 5.5 rules are in the 5.2 SRD. Yep. Funny how that works. All right. I wanted to bring this up. Not because Gen Con tickets are on sale, but Gen Con tickets are on sale. If you're interested, get it. It's a fun time. I'm going to be there. Peter from Tales from Elsewhere is going to be there. We're rooming together. So hopefully neither of us snore. I don't snore. Charles does. That was a lesson learned last year. Can't wait for 5.3 in 2023. That's great. Oh, Ash is going next year. Well, we'll make sure to meet up, Ash, for sure. We'll try to do something, I'm sure, where we'll do a meetup. Maybe between Peter and I's channels, we can do a meetup. But more importantly, they're doing this First Exposure Playtest Hall. I don't remember if they did this last year, because if they did, your boy would have been there. This is for anyone. And you might be... at first, I thought it was just for board games, but it says right here, all manners of game are welcomed, including card game, board game, dice, miniature, story, role-playing, whatever. The idea is you're paying for a table in a 2-hour slot. And then people can just walk in and you can just play test your stuff, which I think is great. I think we should be doing that. That's awesome. You're already getting a lot of people coming to game, and you want people who want to find new stuff. Now, I love that it's a playtest hall, so there's no you can't finagle and be like, oh yeah, my game's available for purchase right now. No, this is all stuff that's in development that you can try. So I wanted to bring this up because if any of you are thinking about Gen Con, this might be a good way to get your game out there, get people interested in it, and it doesn't have to be like ready to launch within the next few months. It could just be in a playtest capacity, and it will work there. Appreciate how outside the D&D bubble this community is for the most part. Amen. Love to go, but one does not casually fly to another continent. Yeah, sorry about that, Blaze. Unfortunately, I understand that a little too well. You ever come to Ohio? We have Origins Con. Is that different from Origins? I think that's different from Origins, right? Yeah, no. Origins isn't Origins more of a board gamey thing? I could be wrong on that. I've debated it. Right now, I am trying to find more cons to go to because we are making some money and I can use that to pay for cons. I might go to some of those. I'm definitely going to go to PAX Unplugged for sure. So we'll talk about that. Here. All right. Get to that in a second. Yes, the hotel situation seems fun. That's why we're sharing a room between me, Peter, and Daniel, at least. All right. Red Hood. With $5. I'm going to go ahead and like that. Really wanted to thank you for all your content. I watched when I know I need to work on my game and need some inspiration. Glad we could be of any inspiration for you. Thank you so much for the $5. We appreciate it. All right. Did that not update my goal? That did not update my goal. Why did that not update the goal? Hold up. All right, we gotta... Why is that not updating? This is fun. Welcome to... Yeah, it's considered tabletop gaming convention. Yep. I mean, listen, I'm a big board game guy too, so I will never be upset about any of that stuff. Here, let me see if I can... engagement? No. Oh, that's it. I see what the issue is. Yep, there it is. Okay, we're gonna update this really quickly, guys. Cool. Ends tomorrow. Sounds good. Save. Let's see if that fixed it. It did fix it. We're good. Look at that. The wonders of technology. All right. So we should be good now. All right. Back to what I was doing before. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, yes. Thank you, Ash, for showing the Discord. We're getting to almost 500 people, which is crazy. Peter got to 1,000, which is crazy as well. Unfortunately, none of the other events are live yet. I am planning, because as a person who is interested in Daggerheart, I am probably going to go to the Daggerheart panel, because if it's anything like last year, they'll announce some pretty big stuff, and I want to be there for that. Cool. Gamma was this past week. For those of you who don't know, Gamma is not a convention that people like us get to go to. It is more for game manufacturers going to people who sell games and being like, hey, buy my game. Please. And then being like, sure, we'll buy your games. So it's a lot of board game stuff, right? As you can see, but there's still some RPG stuff that goes on there. I don't know if any of you guys saw any interesting RPG news. I think this is where the D&D news technically came from. This is interesting. Why is Winnie the Pooh a detective? Eeyore looks sadder than usual. So sad, Eeyore. Yeah, like this looks like something. I don't know. But I couldn't find any RPG news from Gamma. Not saying there wasn't any RPG news, but I'm sure there is. Why are we going into classic stuff? I don't know. Anyway, I brought this up because I just wanted to mention Gamma, which is a big convention did happen. If any of you know of any stories, link them in the chat and we will talk about it. And also, I think that's pretty much it for the big things I wanted to cover in the news. Apparently, I don't know if I can find this, so let me go to the face cam while we talk about it. It's possible a very popular RPG is doing something that I am not a fan of, which is fine. They're allowed to do it. I think this is it. Is this it? Yeah. I think so. So let me find it. Sorry. 1 second, guys. Too many tabs. Here. We'll actually go to their official website. Mongoose, the creators of Traveler, are looking to make a Traveler 5e, which is a little upsetting, because Traveler was a fun game. It's a fun game, and yet here we are. They're putting it for 5e Dungeons and Dragons, which is unfortunate, in my opinion, that they feel the need to have to do that. Funny enough that we have the Traveler from Critical Role here. But it's a little sad that they feel this need to have to switch to D&D. Now, they're using the SRD, it looks like, which is fine. And they're doing a crowdfund. Oh, man, that's interesting. Man, I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, did I end up backing Nimble? Good question. There's a lot of things. There's nothing wrong with Nimble, mind you. It looked like this round was more like a bestiary and some stuff like that. I haven't even played Nimble the one time. So I have no idea if I would even play more than that. I'm always hesitant about getting more options for something before I've even played it the first time. So at the moment I did not back it. Nothing against Nimble. More so that I just didn't know if I don't know how long of a game I'm going to be able to play that as, you know. So cool. All right. Let's get to the crowdfunding, because oh my gosh, there's so much crowdfunding, guys, so much. Tavers, the Meow Wolf role-playing game. So if you're not familiar with Meow Wolf, let's see if we can actually find Meow Wolf as a company. They do some really weird art installation stuff. Yeah, like this is the kind of stuff that you can get from that. Oh, that makes sense. Thank you, Travis. When did the poop became public domain? They do some really weird art installation stuff. I think they did something in Vegas that has to do with like Supermart. I've seen that before. But yeah, they do some like really cool art installations you can walk through and do like that. Charles, I will kick you from this chat if you ask where you are. You know exactly where you are better than I do, actually. So for some reason, the people who make art installations are making an RPG. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to play the video. I have no idea what this game is about. Invites you to wander through shimmering storyscapes and impossible landscapes, landlines, places where mystery hums around every corner, and immortal cybernetic hamsters, underground rat packs, shadowy agents of the Charter, and community radio are all just the beginning. Taste the delights of fishy delishy. Dance the night away on stage with a pan-dimensional skeleton. This feels so weird. And I'm sure that some people really like it. I mean, obviously, it got almost 3 times its funding goal. So, I don't get it. I don't get what the game is. Began as a DIY collective of Santa Fe artists who repurposed junk into interesting stuff, and now they want to make an RPG about it for some reason. But you're not making stuff. They're just using the aesthetic of Meow Wolf in a game. So let's see. Those who wander deeply enough start to notice things. Threads that connect one world to the next. Symbols that shouldn't repeat but do. A feeling that these places aren't separate at all. That's right. Every Meow Wolf world is connected, threaded together by portals and something stranger still. A vast psychic network known as TAVE. A gifted few just sense it. They can access it. A gifted few don't just sense it. They can access it. Open portals, bend reality, pass right through it. We call them Tavers. Maybe you're one of them. So it seems like basically each drug trip the RPG a little bit. That is what it feels like. Exalted Funeral, which is an awesome indie publisher. Yeah, I'm not surprised Exalted Funeral is doing it. We can check out some of the games Exalted Funeral has done. Um, Land of Eam, that's pretty good. Domewood, I've only ever heard good things about. Yeah, they've done a lot. Oh, why are we? Stop it. I don't know. I don't want Monty Python's circus. Go, stop it. Anyway, all that to say, we're here doing this thing. But yeah, they have a lot of interesting stuff that they're backing at any point. So, can I get back to Tavers? What the heck? Okay. Tavers. Thank you. I'm currently working and watching the stream through my cell phone. Great. Sounds like a psychedelic dream. Dang it, fine, whatever. Yeah, so let's see if we can find anything about the mechanics, right? Because I'm not going to lie to you. I don't care too much about a theme if the mechanics are interesting. So let's find out. I never really played anything like D&D, so what is this? This is still meant for people. If you've been out there playing RPGs already, but aren't familiar with Meow Wolf, you'll appreciate Tavers for its open storytelling style and lightweight rule systems. I'll be the judge of that. So this looks like this is the idea. This is like the character sheet. I remember seeing something about this. Yeah, it's almost like a Tetris style board that you fill things in. If you've played Patchwork, it's a little bit like that. I'm not sure what that looks like, but that means Charles and I will have to talk about that when we talk about inventory, which is a very interesting idea. All right, collaborative storytelling. Yep. Tactile inventory management. Every item you acquire becomes a fun variety. Comes in a variety of fun shapes and must fit on your character sheet like a puzzle minigame. Feels very board gamey. Not necessarily a bad thing, but that's a very interesting thing to do, right? What they're doing here. Noticing not a lot of like no modifiers, no numbers, which is interesting. I'm wondering how this will work. Dice Light. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Okay, backstory field skills. Group created memories or dreams called MEMS. Provide an ever fluctuating skill system based on words used in a round table tale weaving. Goal-oriented character progression. Cool. Dice Light art forward. Uses 2d8. We call them octahedrals? Okay. For determining the outcome, for searching for clues and stuff like that. So it's basically a Powered by the Apocalypse game, but with 2d8 instead of anything else, it seems like. Yep. Any other interesting things? Any gameplay? What's included in the box is this weird cat thing that makes me kind of not want to buy the game, not gonna lie. Yeah, Scott, I'm kind of in the same agreement. They're not giving me enough on what makes it interesting. Like, it seems like more of a board game than an actual RPG, but clearly not. You get some weird stuff. The core rulebook, standard edition. Oh my gosh, that's gonna trip people out. No AI. So there you go for anyone who is interested. That shouldn't be surprising from Meow Wolf. I'd be surprised if they did AI. Oh, we'll look at Legends of Akaroth. Don't worry, that's in the queue for sure. Rules for character and creation. I feel like the rules for character creation are going to fit on one page. Comprehensive storyteller guide. Yeah, makes sense considering how crazy this looks. 14 unique locations, NPCs. 5 episodes? Episodas. Oh, get it. Sodas. Okay. And then whatever the heck this is. I wish it would stop doing that so I could figure it out. But, yeah. 8-sided dice. Most dice are all about flat surfaces and hard lines. We're breaking the mold by creating our own dice mold. Oh, they do a little wavy thing. That's interesting. I wonder how those will roll. I'm sure badly. And then this is your tactile game components. Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't feel like my jam. It seems interesting. It seems like it's doing some interesting stuff. The most interesting part to me is definitely the inventory management. aspect. This, where it looks like you're literally drawing the items you get and then you place them. That seems like the most interesting aspect of the game. The rest of it, not so much. You would hate those dice, Charles? Yeah, that's fair. The only thing that has my attention about this Tavers game is Hemataro in the space. Yeah, that is true. It feels more like a platform for their art than a focus on gameplay. And honestly, Matthew, that's probably the case, and I don't think that's a bad thing. If that's what they want to do as a company, I think that's great. So nothing wrong with that. Hey, it's the Goose himself. We're not talking about Savage Worlds. We didn't summon you. I don't know why you're here. Fun fact, Goose and I will be doing some collabs videos literally later tonight. We're going to be recording that stuff, so be on the lookout. I believe this just came out recently. Yep, it is currently. It's the same people who did Mouse Ritter. Okay, cool. The artists are obviously talented. Yep. Again, I think this is going to be one of those games that the layout's going to be fantastic. And the game itself is whatever. Tetris management. Yeah, a little bit. That is what it is. All right. But that is it for Tavers. Let's go to Blades 68. I recently said on one of our episodes that there aren't any good spy games, and then they had to come out and prove me wrong. Thanks, Evil Hat. 3 days left. So I'm not going to go too much into it. If you've played or know of Blades in the Dark, or what else is there? There's Blades, Bands of Blades, Scum and Villainy, I think is also one. It's basically that, but spies, which is fair. And honestly, it makes sense, right? The Hound. This is one of the playbooks. Here's a bunch of the different stuff that they decided to base their stuff off of, right? James Bond makes sense. Man from U.N.C.L.E. The Avengers. Not to be you're thinking of one Avengers. It's not that Avengers. It's an old British TV show. Manchurian Candidate. This game has me. I love that they included that. The Italian Job, right? Crime Capers, because you're still going to be performing a heist, but there's more spy stuff included. What's interesting is here's the pledge levels, hardcover and PDF for $45. That's great. That's a great deal. Limited edition for $65. That's fantastic. People would pay those prices just for the hardbacks, and you're getting a PDF. That's great. You get some additional stuff if you wish. They do have special. They have a special map for the place you're playing in, and then the faction deck. Right, very similar to regular Blades in the Dark, where you're having a bunch of different factions that you're fighting with. It makes sense that in a 60s era spy world, you're going to be going against other spy agencies and stuff like that. So I love this. Love that there's a deck you can purchase and just get some stuff out of. That's really fun. Hamataro reference wasn't on my bingo card today. When is it ever? Charles says Ash is going to make him play this game. Really want a cool Goose-based RPG. You didn't talk about Savage Worlds even with the... Yeah, sorry, man. Sorry. I feel like the Deadlands Kickstarter is getting enough thing. I'm only covering this because it's in the last few days, so I want to let people know that this game does exist. Yes, they did do one. I didn't realize Ralph Fiennes was in it, but I think Uma Thurman was. In the early 2000s, Charles. Correct. This is why I like Charles. He understands my really weird references about stuff. Now, this is a game about something, right, Scott? Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. But yeah, Blades, go back it. All right. This was brought up in the chat, so we'll talk about it. Legends of Akaroth. I want to say, in all the World of Warcraft people, right? Azeroth. That's what we want to say, but it's Akaroth. Very intentionally. Peter actually did a live stream with the creator of this game. So if you're interested in more details about it, go check out that. But this is a RPG inspired game. And unlike games like Fabula Ultima that are more rules light, this one seems to be on the opposite end of that, of being a little bit more rules heavy, it seems like. And so, you can see it's got some... Golly, what Chrono Trigger vibes, kind of like from this art. Apparently there's a solo mode, which is interesting. That's going to be fun. Solo, duet, GM-less, GM-led. Well, curious to see how that actually comes about, mainly because Charles and I played Starforged, which is Ironsworn in space, and so we'll see how this goes. Uh, Blade 68 looks good. I really couldn't justify backing the Deadlands Kickstarter because I haven't even gotten to play the base game. Fair. Uh, you guys keep chatting along. If I see anything interesting, I'll pop it up. Oh, Red Hood watched the live stream. He seems really cool and focused. Um, Fun fact for those of you who don't know, because I didn't realize this until he commented on one of our videos. Cozy RPG follows this channel. Thanks, Cozy. We appreciate you. You don't have to follow us, but we appreciate it. All right, so you get the core rulebook. You get, I am assuming this is like a GM guide, starter set, stuff like that. Stretch goals. You can get additional. You can be a skeleton. You can play as a tinkerer. You get an airship. So they've unlocked a good chunk of their stretch goals, it looks like. Not too bad, and they still got a few days going. Now do you want a pet? Charles, you want a pet? You got to back it. They got some interesting mechanics. They have things like limit breaks. I believe they literally want you to be able to do 999 damage or something like that, which is crazy. That you can even go to those limits. I don't know how that'll actually work in practice. We'll have to see. They got some spells and stuff like that. Here's your characters, your kins. All right, currently we got some of these things. Okay, just all the animals, it looks like. That's a dwarf? That's a tall dwarf. Maybe it's not a tall dwarf. It's hard to tell. All right, here's some of your classes. More importantly, I asked this in Peter's chat. Did they have a buster sword? And the answer is no. They have a sword that busts. So, yes, they have a buster sword, which is great. They have an interesting... let me see if I can find it, if it's not all the way down here. Looks like it's not. They have an interesting, game system. Charles, why are you texting me this? For those of you who do not know, Charles just texted me a link to the old Avengers, and it is Uma Thurman. I was right. I didn't realize Ralph Fiennes was in that. That's crazy. Also, terrible movie. Literally so bad. Sean Connery's in it too. Wow, star-studded cast. Anyway, we're not talking about that. Yeah, give it a look. It's a crunchier version of Fabula Ultima. In some ways, it looks like it's still about rolling a d20. So, nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it's more on the crunchy side of a JRPG than other ones is for sure. All good. Mr. Paradise, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Yeah. Charles wants to check it out because there's a pet. I knew it. I knew it. And agreed, Red Hood. We do need more Buster Swords in TTRPGs. All right. We'll talk about really quickly Numenera, because it's 4 days left. Numenera, as we talked about in the generic RPG videos that we ranked all of them, Numenera is what made the Cypher system. No surprise here. They did a Cypher 2 Kickstarter, and so now they're doing the new Numenera. Here's the downside. It does not come with the core rules. The old Numenera did, which isn't surprising because it was the setting that eventually made Cypher. And in this one does not, which is a little upsetting. So, yeah, that sucks. I think you can. Let's see if we can go down. Yeah, setting only. A little upset. And then this gives you 3 additional books all in. I think at some point you can... Are you able to add on the core rules? I don't think so. Here we go. Cypher character rule book. So you can eventually add them on for an additional cost, which is a little upsetting, but hey. Nope, this is definitely Keith Baker. What are you talking about, Savage Goose? This is Keith Baker all the way. Yeah, so Monty Cook Games is doing this. Got that one wrong. I'm well aware. Speaking of pets, I recently got a new art. Cool. Yeah, so just check it out if you want to. Numenera is an interesting magic setting where it's basically super future stuff, but like the world's gone, like been basically Armageddon to 17 or like 7 or 8 times, something like that. And yeah, you're in like the 8th version of it. All right. I think that's it for the ones that are the big ones. Let's talk about some weird ones, and then we're going to just literally search through and see what we can find. So let's do this. Dragon Riders Primer. I have no idea what this is. 5e sourcebook. Okay, and we're done. Sorry. No offense to anyone who plays 5e. Enjoy playing 5e. I think it's fun. I understand why a lot of things do a 5e supplement. You get money. But what's also interesting is the amount that aren't 5e supplements that are doing really well. So I am more wanting to talk about the games that aren't supplements for 5e because I think they deserve a look-see. So Tales from the Tape Deck, a music-focused TTRPG. I just randomly came across this and I'm like, I gotta look into it. So we're looking into it. So it's in a cassette. Oh my gosh. People are probably having flashbacks. This is crazy. Let's see. Tales from the Tape Deck blends the stripped-down, reckless nature of Morkborg, the deadly urgency of Shadowdark, the over-the-top, frog god-worshipping attitude of DCC, and the rulings, not rules, of OSR. Okay, so this is an OSR game. Got it. Thank you for telling me this. Clive Scrapper from New Jersey. So this is interesting. The music is blasting. The clock is ticking. Will you become a tragic warning or a legend? This is Tales from the Tape Deck. It's a rule-light RPG system that fits into a cassette tape box. Tales from the Tape Deck is a mashup of ruthless, fast-paced, old-school gameplay and a narrative-forward approach. Obviously, they list the things that have inspired them. Is more than just storage. It's meant to be an in-game artifact. That's crazy. All right, who's behind this? I don't think that necessarily matters too much. You can go a little bit more. Ahmed, Yamal, probably pronouncing those incorrectly. We'll find out. Ooh, a quick start zine. Let's open that up and see if there's anything interesting here. Ooh, looking good already. Each playlist is they give you a playlist. That's interesting. Each playlist is linked to a QR code allowing you to access it on a major. That's super cool. I like that actually quite a lot. Oh man. Oh, I have to download things. Okay, we're not going to do that. Not this time. But really clever, but is this going style over substance? It might. I mean, to be fair, Meow Wolf was style over substance 100%. So we shall see. I am not familiar with Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland. Oh, thanks, Blaze. I appreciate you. All right. So let's see. Tales for the Tape Down uses a stripped down D20 system for conflict resolution. We do not use a skill list. Only ability modifiers are listed on the character sheet to streamline play and promote player creativity. In fact, players can choose to go classless and follow their own vision. So then, are there even classes if you can go classless? Or is that, in and of itself, its own class? Who knows? Sup, Cade? Good to see you. All right. So, PCs have another... So, let's see. Tales from the Deck character sheets have a luck pool where players can spend luck points to add points to a roll with the understanding that it decreases their luck. And the PCs with the lowest luck can be the target of an attack or a mishap. That's interesting. That's an interesting way to do luck. I like that. Where it's you're choosing to spend it, it just adds to a roll, which can lower your luck. And then if the GM has to attack something, they attack the person who has the lowest luck, which is very fitting. And then it becomes a really interesting game of like, if somebody's the tank, they want to have the lowest luck. So if someone gets luck lower than that, that seems really interesting. That's a cool mechanic. I like that a lot. There's a lot of strategy that could be used there. PCs have a pool called Nerve. It's much more limited resource than luck. It's meant to represent the X factor and the PC's maverick nature. Golly, this is so 90s. This is good grief. Playlist stuff like that. They give you some interesting things here. This seems cool. I like that they're gonna have Oh, featured bands, nice. I like that they're gonna have playlists with it. Yeah, this seems cool. All right, let's see. $30. Core rules plus volume 1 RRR. PDF only for okay, $30 for a PDF is okay. The physical, let's find out. No cassette included. Oh, well then what's the point? Core rules with case, physical mini zine. Ah, so it's a zine. Okay. So it's meant to be very rules light then, for sure. Yeah. Did someone say 90s? Yes, Charles. I know that's the only decade that you existed in, apparently. It was that, and then you transported to now. $35 for a physical copy, not too bad. $50 for the core rules plus volumes 1 through 4 of the cassettes. So I think let's look at what the volumes are really quick before we. I'm assuming the volumes are settings. Okay, such as post-apocalyptic, cyberpunk, cosmic horror, along with genres like dungeon synth, heavy metal, EDM, and jazz. Cool. Okay, not too bad. So $50 if you want to get all of 4 settings. It looks like if you only want to get, you only can get the first setting if, which is I think very 90s. It looks like. Let's see. Righteous Ride of the Radicals is a fueled filled race through the wastelands on a post-apocalyptic war rig racing through the 80s. Interesting. A lot of 80s rock. I would enjoy that. I grew up on 80s rock. All right. This seems cool. I actually think this is a really interesting game. I might look into backing it. $90 if you get the gnarly bundle, bro. Gnarly. You get all the stuff. A backstage pass patch. Don't know what that means. A pin, starter sticker pack, bootleg, a bootleg volume PDF. That's funny. Yeah. Then there's some more stuff. There's a retail only version, which is always good. Yep, risks, all that stuff. Doesn't say any stretch goals or anything like that. So, cool. Seems like a very interesting thing. I'm glad we looked into this. I am a fan of Dungeon Sith. Nice. Sorry. Charles is a time traveler. My bad. Yeah, so to Goose's point, it seems a little expensive. $30 for a PDF, it does seem like a lot, which is tough. $35 though for the physical is such an interesting increase. Like, it's only $5 more. I don't know. But ultimately, you are the arbiter of your financial decisions, so don't back anything you don't have the money to back. Is there any reason why people would choose Kickstarter versus BackerKit to host their project? I do not know. I know there are answers to that question. Easy quests. I'm well aware there are answers to that question. I do not know. So. All right. Let's see. So there was one on Kickstarter that caught my eye. Let's see. This one looks interesting just because it's the first one. We got to look into the Godzilla role-playing game, right, guys? We have to. Cybersecurity co-op. Okay, we'll look into that one too. So these are the next 3, and then we'll see if there's anything on BackerKit worth looking at. Let's see. All right. Officially licensed role-playing game set in the world of Tamir. Listen, guys, if you have a very French name, even though I'm named Frank, I'm not going to be able to help you out there. Kickstarter is more well-known than BackerKit, but I feel like BackerKit has some aspects of it that are better too, because I got to talk to Peter, who did Kickstarter, and oh my gosh, Zarek from Odin's Key, because they did it on BackerKit. I'm very interested to know the difference between those two. Woo-wee! Look at that. Feature pledge captain, $150. Good grief. Oh, man. I'm assuming. I don't know. I would have to look into it. But we'll probably make a video on that because we're definitely going to do how to publish your RPG as a video. And I'm sure we'll have an answer in there. Kickstarter's more popular known, but has been stagnating and supporting AI stuff. Okay. So let's look into this game. Magpie Games. Okay, so that's basically any game that is powered by the apocalypse. So Avatar Legends, Root, those games are going to be the same company. So that means I'm starting to think this is probably a powered by the apocalypse game. We'll find out. Let's see. Dragons can be as big as the sky. Britain, a newly hatched dragon is encouraged to form a deep and unbreakable bond with those who harness it. We found our dragon writing RPG, Charles. We found the dragon writing RPG. That's crazy. So the dragon takes on a crew appropriate to its size. Wait. This is a ship game. But your ship's a dragon. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. So no one gets their own unique dragon. Everyone has the same dragon. Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. Uh, good grief, that's so funny. Okay. Great Britain leads multiple... Oh, yeah, so it is against France. The British have to defeat the French. The British Aerial Corps. British Aerial Corps. Blah, 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 blah. Every culture has a different relationship with dragons. Interesting. My guess is this phrase right here implies, and in future books we'll have other countries represented. Okay, so it is based off of a book series. Got it. That doesn't surprise me. Magpie Games makes a lot of games that are IP driven. So, yeah. So let's see. 3 to 5 players with one making the role of the game master. The game is designed for ongoing stories. Yep. Cool. You're gonna tell me anything about the mechanics of the game. Here we go. Oh, golly. Look at that thing. What the... I don't even know how to pronounce that. The Anadai system, I'm assuming. A new game system. Oh, interesting. Built upon many lessons the team at Magpie Game have learned over the past decade. This system is built for flexibility with a simple central dice mechanic alongside more complex and intricate conflict systems to flesh out exciting moments. Cool. All right. Oh, there is a quick start. Well, let's see. Oh, we're going to give it a second. Oh, I have to go to the drive-thru RPG to get the quick start? Come on. Oh, man. Just tell me how to play the game. Okay. We'll look into that later. Here we go. At heart, it uses challenge rolls to resolve moments of uncertainty and tension. A challenge roll has a player pick up a bunch of 6-sided dice. Dice for appropriate attribute, usually between 0 and 4. So it's a D6 dice pool system. A skill die if you have a trained or better applicable skill. So this is similar to what Candela was trying to do with its gilded die. A die for an asset. If you have something... So your skill is going to give you dice. Your attribute's going to give you dice. If you have skill, it's going to give you additional dice. And then if you can justify an asset, like a resource or an equipment, you get another die. And then a die for good circumstances giving you advantage. Yeah. So it's pretty much a half, what do my stats say? Half, can I justify adding more dice to the roll? So let's go through here. Okay. Nocturna, a British longwing, just completed her training and joined a formation with the illustrious dragon Cinerax. The young dragon knows she earned her position, but she wants to make a good impression on Cinerax. A training run is just the place to do it. Nocturna knows it takes a lot to catch her formation's leader attention, so she decides to try a particularly impressive maneuver, saving time on her run by flying directly through the rocky formations off the coast rather than around them. For the maneuver, Nina, Nocturna's player, looks at Nocturna's body attribute A2. So Nina takes 2 dice. Then she looks at Nocturna's skills. Agility is the skill for speed and dexterity, and Nocturna's agility is trained. She adds another die to her roll, a total of 3 dice. She's trained for this. The weather is good, and only a few weeks ago she tried this maneuver with her captain, Heather Kingslingston, who now confidently pats her neck. She's got this. The GM tells Nina Nocturna has comfortable circumstances. Are you playing the dragon? I think you're playing as the dragon, which is interesting. On any challenge roll, you're looking for 5s and 6s. They're hits. Okay, so 5s and 6s. No hits, you get a defeat. The GM says what happened. It won't be good. On a hit, you get an unsuitable result. You can make it a success, but only if you pay a cost or face a complication. I like it when it's the players getting to choose. You can succeed at a cost. It is your choice there. 2 hits, you get a success. 3 or more hits, it's a triumphant success. Oh, uh-oh. Give me a second. All right. Sorry about that. Nope. We're good. He doesn't like it when people walk. He's not a fan. I'm getting tired of every game needing to name their engine. Yeah, that's why we have the wit engine. No, that's fair. I think you should only do that if you're doing a generic system, and then even then, I get that, Travis. Cool. So it's a dice pool system. Seems interesting. You're able to both justify in the narrative while also simultaneously doing that. Yeah. Cool. Just a reminder, we're only going until 2 o'clock. I might go a few minutes over, but if you want us to go a little bit longer, we do have the goal down at the bottom. We have $5 towards that goal right now. Another $20, and we'll go for another hour. But until then, yeah. All right, so that's the game from Magpie. Cool. Let's go to Godzilla, the role-playing game. Clearly, it's been doing pretty well. Let's see, who's funding it? I'm not familiar with this one. It's officially based off a card-based tabletop experience. Is this a role-playing game with cards? Interesting. Yep. Oh. All right. IDW is a book company. Yeah, that does sound familiar. All right. Cool. Let's see. Hey, buddy. All right. 12 exciting character classes. Oh, there's a dog now. Hey, buddy. You could probably hear him. All right. There's your game designers. You can play as a bunch of different kaiju. Make your own kaiju, which is fun. King of the Monsters or something cool. Something cool. Gorilla the board game. I know you misspelled that. But yes, it is definitely an IP branding thing. Yeah, so you get to make your own kaiju. That's fun. Here we go. Core mechanics. Players draw power from the chance deck. The cards in this deck will form the player's hands where they become destiny cards and can be used to resolve actions and trials. Man, I've never seen an RPG use a deck of cards for anything. Did Savage Goose respond yet? All right, cool. I think you can play as Godzilla. It looks like you're able to. But you can also make your own. So anyway, this instead of using dice, it's using a deck of cards. Okay. Simple enough. They really have a kaiju RPG. Of course, Savage Worlds does. Seems interesting. Yeah, it's card based. There are 2 decks that are the beating hearts that drive your game. They allow players to resolve any action they could dream of and give to the colossal threats of Godzilla universe. Interesting. Cool. All right, just wanted to take a look at it. Probably won't back it myself. We shall see, but seems fun. And then Cyber Roll, the cybersecurity co-op tabletop game. Aren't all tabletop? So this might be a board game. We're going to find out really quick. I think this is a board game, so nope. All right, let's see if there's anything on BackerKit that looks interesting. 5e compatible, we're good. We already looked through you. There's a bundle over here, apparently. Okay, so we're going to go back to Kickstarter, see if there's any additional ones we can find. I don't think so. So unless you guys know of one that you want me to talk about, any other last minute things before we end the stream. Because I think, yep, we're just going to, again, thank you. I think it was Red Hood. Let's see. I could scroll back up and find out. Yep, thank you again, Red Hood, for the $5 for this stream. I think this inaugural news went well. And so, yeah. If you guys ever find Okay, we have to. Okay, this is the last one, and then we're gonna end on big robots, big feelings. We'll end on that, and then we'll call it for the day. So, Dragonbane. Oh yeah, Dragonbane has a new supplement coming out. Cool. I'm skeptical to talk about certain supplements unless they're brand new RPGs being crowdfunded. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, this is the last one we'll talk about. Story. Prime your laser cannons, draw your energy sword, and pilot your mech to glorious victory the only way you know how, by feeling more feelings than anyone has ever felt. So, okay. Okay, heard on that. Big Robots, Big Feelings is a D6-based RPG for 2 to 6 players with a GM. Let's see if we can find anything about the rules. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to read this. Good grief. The rulebook is full of everything you need to play, including the complete rules, easy-to-use character creation rules, and NPC generator, tons of full art, stuff like that. Cool. 36 pages. That's not much, which then explains why it's $10 and $20 respectively. Not surprising by that. All right, let's see then if we can figure out anything about these rules. Golly, I'm trying to... Rules light system. There we go. Players will build a dice pool that starts with a single d6 and adds additional dice for their emotional bonus, relationship bonus, and stress bonus, and other modifiers. If the highest die roll is a 4+, they've scored a success and at least partially achieved their goal. Failures 3 or less on the highest die cause NPCs to and enemies to take actions, meaning the player's dice are in control of the action. Okay, so this is very similar to how Daggerheart does it, where as long as you guys are succeeding, you can keep doing stuff. It's once you fail. I saw this on Itch. It was on my watch list. Glad to see it being mentioned here. Yep. Seems interesting. So you just want to feel more feelings, and as you feel more feelings, you get to have a bigger and bigger dice pool. Yeah, not too bad. This is the kind of RPGs it takes inspiration from. Seems really weird, but like, obviously, it's literally called Big Robots, Big Feelings. How long is it going on for? Another 3 days. It's met its goal, it looks like. Interesting. So yeah, I'd say give it a look. I mean, it's only, what, $10, $20? That's not too bad. If you want to get any of the more expensive stuff, you can find out. But $10 for the PDF, $20 if you're wanting a physical copy. It's 36 pages. It's a zine. Nothing wrong with that. Cool. So my hyper emotion to win. So be hyper emotional to win. Yep. All right. Let's go back to Facecam. So that is it for this week's tabletop news. Yeah, I think we did a good job of that. Tune in 2 weeks. So the next stream will be on the 23rd. Tune into that. And yeah, as always, guys, stay witty.